Hello everyone, this is Laco S, and welcome to my 12th livery showcase for Ace Combat videos. Today we're going to be showcasing Ustio's F-16C skins that were created by the community. So F-16C, a very popular module, has gotten a lot of skins, and it's fairly fitting that it has because the F-16C has appeared in a lot of Ace Combat games and is the starting aircraft for Ace Combat 7, so it's very fitting that it has quite a lot of skins of its own. So we're going to start off here. It's very fitting that in talking about Ustio skins, we start off with the Galm 1 skin, and I should also mention that this Galm 1 skin is in a pack with the Galm 2 skin over there. Both of these were made by the Mr. Sir 46, and the next several skins were made by him. So if I forget to mention who made these skins, these next ones will all be made by Mr. Sir 46. So let's go dive into this skin right here. This is very much a recreation of, I believe, Cypher's skin from Ace Combat 0. It's very similar to his F-15C skin. You have the white nose cone, gray body, a little bit of camo detail in there, which is pretty neat. But then you also have Cypher's very infamous blue wings, where half of the wing in the back is roughly half the wing in the back is blue, and it kind of goes all the way up to being entirely blue up the front in those nice lines. Nice. It's a fairly accurate. I believe this is actually pretty much the blue that was used in Ace Combat 0 too, so it's accurate colors there, which is always nice to see. Not too bright, not too flashy, but still vibrant enough for Cypher. Also, that same pattern that went onto the tail assembly here with the rudder and elevators in the back. You also have the Galm Squadron's emblem of the dog with the collar up there on the tail, and you have 032, which is Cypher's tail number, as well as the 6th Air Division emblem right in front of it. So all these really cool emblems where they all should be, and it's a very fitting skin for Ace Combat 0's protagonist. And then we have Cypher's Wingman. Here, Galm 2, Solo Wing Pixie, and while you can't change out your Wingman's aircraft in Ace Combat 0, this is a very cool reimagining of Cypher's aircraft. If you were to fly, if you were able to give him a F-16C, you have the whole idea of the Solo Wing on the right there. You have the one red wing. And the rest of the aircraft is, again, a fairly well done standard issue camo pattern. Again, you have all the Air Force markings for Ustio up there on the tail, same as Galm 2. It all matches up, and Pixie also has his tail number marked there as well. So this is a really cool pack, especially if you're trying to recreate Ace Combat 0 missions and you want to fly the Viper. You download the pack. You can have them either both fly F-16C Vipers. I do believe there's also I do remember doing a video a little while back now, and there is a F-15C skin for the Galm team. So you can even have Solo Wing Pixie in his F-15C, and then Cypher in his an F-16C as well. So lots of fun options for recreating all your favorite Ace Combat missions from the 0 game here. Moving on, we start getting into custom Air Force squadrons. This one is Gargoyle Team, known as the 52nd Auxiliary Fighter Unit. And this one's cool because unlike the your standard, unlike your Hornet, your Vipers over there, this one has a dark nose cone. And this one sort of has a Southeast Asia camo going for it. Bit of a mix between Southeast Asia and a desert camo. You have your light sand color, your little bit of a darker sand color and then like olive drab green. Forms a nice combination of 3 colors on the aircraft. Good for desert missions as well as your your more forested missions, which is a really nice camo mix. You still have all your same Ustio markings on the wings and on the tail fuselage assembly back there. You have the Ustio flag up there on the tail, and you have unique board numbers, by the way, I believe, for these F-16Cs, because they're representing single units or single aircraft in the game. So this is his personal tail number of 053, Ustio Air Force written down below, and 6th Air Force emblem up there on the top. And plus the squadron emblem, like a lot of F-16s, especially more modern ones, they have a squadron emblem right after the canopy. And also, he has his nationality, like a lot of the Ustio skins, he has his nationality flag in front of his name on the cockpit bow, as well as his kill marks. And it looks like he has 7 Belkin kills. So he's an ace. As part of the same pack, double checking, yep. Gargoyle Team is a pair of Vipers, kind of like how Galm Team in canon, quote unquote, is a pair of F-15C Eagles. Gargoyle Team is a pair of F-16C Vipers. Again, you have the emblem, you have the Gargoyle emblem right aft of the canopy bow. You have the Ustio flag for his national flag there on the canopy bow, as well as 6 Belkin kills. Also, you have your high visibility Ustio markings on the wings and towards the tail, and again, squadron emblem. He has his own custom board number of 082. Again, VL for the airbase code of Valet Airbase, as well as that was also found on the other one, should have mentioned. But this time, the main difference between these two is that this is more of a, I want to say this is the F2. The Mitsubishi F2, or Viper Zero, this is a paint scheme based on the Japanese Vipers that are, they're equipped differently, they're set up differently. Like, for instance, I know the Japanese Vipers can carry harpoon missiles. So there's that. We're obviously probably not going to get the F2A in DCS, but you can kind of cosplay as one of those FA2s with this skin, which is pretty cool. I always thought the FA2 was an interesting hybrid fighter platform just because of it can carry harpoons and it can do other things that a regular Viper can't. So that wraps up Gargoyle Team, also done by Mr. Sir 46. And what's Galm Team without Crow Team? Crow Team has their skins here as well. These two next skins are going to be Crow 1 and Crow 2, and then Crow 3 will be right after that. Crow 1 and 2 are their own separate skin pack from Crow 3. If you only just want PJ, you can just have PJ has its own separate download, so that way you can save on a little bit of disk space, because we know that's very precious with DCS. Moving on to the actual aircraft here. Low-vis Ustio markings, which are really cool. You don't see those too often. And you also have low-vis 6th Air Division marking up there on the tail. Valet Airbase and his custom board number of 027. I like this also, this very faint, kind of almost faded, like very light blue and white checkerboard pattern on the tail. Thought that was always cool in the Vipers when they did a little bit of art up there to add a little bit of color. Otherwise, it's your standard gray, light gray Hornet coloration. You also have the Crow Team emblem right aft of the cockpit, which is pretty cool. So that's number 1. Crow number 2 has his own custom board number, but otherwise the aircraft is the same. Not part of the, and as part of a separate download, but part of the whole same Crow Team, we have PJs here. You have, again, the Crow emblem. You actually have PJ's name on the canopy bow along with his flag, so he's actually from Ustio. And he has 5 kill marks. And again, low vis markings. He has his own custom board number of 20. No, tail number of 20. Keep on confusing the two. Gotta get those right one day. And that's it for Mr. Sir 46's skins for the moment. We will circle back to him at the very tail end. Next up, we have Billy the Kid, who has done the 6th Air Division 10th Air Force Unit Stallion. And this is a really cool Viper skin. You don't normally see a lot of Arctic skins in for DCS World, mainly because this Caucasus map here during winter is the only time you'll actually be able to use it, but this is a really cool looking skin, and every time I get the opportunity to fly on a winter map in the Caucasus, I always equip this one for my Viper. I will admit it's a personal favorite of mine. So you have the pilot's name up there on the canopy bow. It looks like he's actually from Arusha, which is interesting. Again, you have your kill marks up there on the canopy bow. Looks like, again, he's definitely an ace with over 5 kills. He has his own custom board number of 019. Oh, tail number of 019. And you also have the Stallion emblem right behind the canopy bow. And plus you have this really cool like light gray, middle gray, and then a dark gray camouflage pattern all over him. Plus with the high visibility Ustio markings, really cool. Checkerboard pattern on the tail, along with the squadron name up there. And you have some squadron emblems up there as well. So this is a really cool skin. Also, another Valet Air Base aircraft with VL and, again, a tail code of 019. Really cool skin all around. And this also has a quote-unquote generic skin for the rest of the flight members. This one is very similar to the your main flight lead. Obviously, for the generic skin, they don't have a pilot name or kill marks. And their tail is slightly more plain. There's no checkerboard pattern as compared to the other one, and the squadron name isn't listed, but you still have the squadron emblem up there on the tail loud and proud, so you can definitely tell it's the Stallions, plus the squadron emblem is there on the cockpit, on the fuselage after the cockpit. They do not have dynamic, I believe, tail numbers on these, but that's okay. It honestly kind of makes the skin a little bit more simpler to maintain and upload, and I'd much rather have a skin that I download that doesn't need constant maintenance and fixing the board numbers, because ED, I love you, but please pick a methodology for your tail numbers and stick with it. There's so many older skins that keep on breaking that I keep on downloading and trying to fix because the board numbers change. So this is a really cool pair of skins, and like I said, I always usually fly them whenever I get the chance to on winter maps. Thankfully, with the Kola Peninsula map coming out in the next couple of years, I'll be able to fly these more. And yes, I didn't say next couple of years. I do not have any faith that that map will be out in the near future. We have been burned so many times, we're not going to go there. Next up, for skins, we have another AWACS. We have an AWACS Bandog skin, and this one's a really cool skin with a really interesting pick of colors. You have kind of this like blue steel, olive drab, kind of like light green or sort of like a green gray mix, and this is AWACS Bandog's 108th Fighter Squadron Hounds of War. And it's a really cool design. I love the really bold color choices of this. This is a really cool color choice. Like I said, you have these if that burnt blue steel you don't normally see on an aircraft. You might see it on some Russian aircraft, but that's it. You also have like this like greenish gray, which looks really cool, and you have this olive drab mix. So it's a really interesting choice of bold colors, but also colors that work very well for camouflage. No squadron markings all around, but I do actually like having variety in my skins, so having fewer squadron markings on this is, I think, pretty cool, just to keep it more plain and simple. I do believe these tail numbers are dynamic, and this has an airbase code of GH, not quite sure what that is. I like to imagine this is Gnosis airbase. just because in part of my Ace Combat Mission series, I renamed the air bases in BCS. You can't rename it on the map, but in universe, I like to call certain air bases certain things. So I like to imagine this is from Gnosis Air Base from my missions. Also, before I head out, I should mention it's a little hard detail to find, but there is a shark mouth on the intake, and I approve. You don't normally see Vipers do anything fun with their intake, so it's fun to have that little bit of detail right there. Next up from AWACS Bandog, we have another very interesting bold skin. This time with low visibility Ustio markings, but a more dazzle pattern to the camouflage with the 8th Hussar Air Regiment. And this is interesting for all sorts of reasons. While it does seem sort of, at very first glance, sort of like a quote-unquote a normal or basic skin, there's a lot of really interesting details here that once you look over it for more than a second or two, you go, oh wait, this is actually quite different. Starting off with, they have taken inspiration from, I believe, the Egyptian Air Force, where the Egyptian Air Force paints the edges of its wings and tail with a bright colored stripe to differentiate it from other aircraft that other nations operate with that have similar airframes. So they have this really cool bright red tips to all the tails and the wingtips, which is really cool. Dynamic abort numbers, as well as a airbase code of its own, which is pretty cool. And I really like this dazzle camouflage. It's like a dark gray, then like a light blue gray, and then like a light gray. It's a really cool mix of coloration. It really suits like the mountainous terrain of the Caucasus map really well. And I generally could see myself using this skin in quite a lot of different situations. It's a really fun skin, and also has a little bit of color to brighten up the Viper lineup for Ustio. Lastly, we have a very unique F-16 camouflage pattern here for the Hawthorne Squadron, also made by Mr. Sir 46. And I put this one last because this skin, according to the information page, is actually from based on Ace Combat 7. It's part of the International Peacekeepers Union, or I think it's the IUN, and this is the 7th Tactical Fighter Squadron Hawthorn. It's a really cool, interesting pattern. It kind of almost makes me remind me of the A-16 project, where they had the bright, quote-unquote, idea to add a Gal, like an event, the Gal 8 30mm cannon from the A-10 onto the bottom of the F-16, and it just went horrendously wrong. Kind of reminds me of that project, but it's a really cool sort of like a low-vis pattern where it's like a light gray and like a light olive drab. So it's a really cool pattern like that. I can easily see myself flying on maps with this. You have the Hawthorne Squadron emblem up top on the top of the tail. Ustio Air Force markings. You have your tail number right there. And there's actually one with IUN markings. So you can either have it plain, or you can have it with the IUN markings there on the aircraft behind the canopy, which is where you normally see squadron markings, which is really cool. And again, that doesn't really, you don't have to worry about that, not having a squadron marking with this aircraft, because there's one on the tail right there with the patch, which is pretty cool. And you can even see that this aircraft has belongs to a certain individual. It's not quite as visible in other aircraft, but it is there. So you can see that this also does belong to a pilot. And I want to say that pilot actually appears on other aircraft in the skin sets. I'll have to look into that. So, but that's the F-16 skins from the strange real nation of Ustio. We're going to be wrapping up, I believe, another round of F-16C skins soon. We're going to be going over basically other countries and their skins, and I'll see you all in that video. And with that, we'll be wrapping up the F-16 skins. I do believe that'll be pretty much all the ones that have been currently released, or nearly all the ones that have been currently released. But with plenty of other aircraft to do, This series will be continued going on for quite a while, and I'm quite sure once I wrap up a whole bunch of these videos, by the time I do that, we'll have bought in time for all of our wonderful community skin creators for Ace Combat to work on skins for the F-15E, as well as the F-4E Phantom, as well as every other aircraft that will be released between now and then, including maybe hopefully some skins for the AI A6E. That'd be fun to see. So until then, this has been LockOS, signing out.